we knew that a lot of things would just sort of develop naturally as we were out here. And Ben, one of the things that's happened is throughout the day, various coaches and teachers from our past have shown up. And so we kind of impromptu decided to go back in time and let some of the teachers and coaches of our past represent us. We got a couple of special guests with us, and KT Fun Tweets will maybe, I don't know, try to get some information about us two from their perspective. Why don't we start with you? Who is here representing you?
Yeah, this is incredible because we're both fortunate enough to have people who are massively influential in our life. The person that's here for me is Coach Mark Malcolm, who is a absolute legend at every school I went to. Apollo Junior High, Berkner High School, everybody knows Coach Malcolm. Not only the best coach I ever had, but the best teacher I ever had. And that goes for college, any professors I ever had. I never had anybody as a teacher or professor that was better than Mark Malcolm. I mean, he's the GOAT. And Ted Madden even did a story on him recently. He's at Shelton now.
Yeah.
He's a football coach over there. And Ted Madden did a piece at WFAA.
Man, that story went so bad, Ted Madden got out of the business.
He got fired.
Yeah, he works for Mesquite now.
He got fired. He got fired for that story.
Terrible.
So, what about you? Who's here for you?
Well, and this is very exciting for me because I didn't know she was coming up. But I have with me Kathy Weigel, who was the journalism teacher at Berkner High School when I was there. And she was someone that was always in my corner. And so I had transferred schools. I went to Richardson High School for a semester. And when I came back, Miss Weigel welcomed me back with open arms and pretty much let me write whatever I wanted to write for our student newspaper, The Rampage. And I'm very excited when you walked in the door, Miss Weigel. It's very awesome to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, so what do you think maybe we should have KT just ask them questions?
Yeah, I think you know,
because I would just ask Miss Weigel things about me that make me look good, and I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's fair to our listeners that we should be interrogated in a situation like this.
I think so.
These are two highly skilled educators who have a lot of dirt on us, and I'm interested to see what they say too. So KT, have at it.
All right, we'll start with you, Coach Malcolm. Nice to meet you, by the way.
It's good to meet you.
Well, let's start here. Been well known around the community as a freestyle rapper. How much did he get from you in that regard?
Well, he had plenty of opportunities to use his extremely sharp wit in my class. Our repartee is something that I remember. So I know he always thinks very quickly on his feet, and maybe that's the germ of his incredible ability as a rapper.
I want to know and let me jump in too, because I wouldn't mind finding this out. How quickly did you know that Ben was basically feeding you a line and was trying to get over on you? I mean, did it take you? Did you figure that out really quickly? That he was like, I'm working these edges over here.
It's the style that he did it with that really matters. He's not the only student that's trying to do that.
Fantastic.
All right, now for you, Miss Weigel, with Skin, obviously he's got a lot of interest. And you said you let him kind of write whatever. So were you proofreading some of his, like, hey, here's this, here's some Afrobeat, here's an Afrobeat article that I wrote, or this 1940s French film. What do you want to write on that? I don't know if that's really broadcasting in the Rampage.
You know, I proofread every word he wrote and then proofread it again just to make sure he wasn't sneaking something under the radar.
Yep.
But I want to take credit for this. I really do, because I taught him everything I knew about sports and sports writing. And those were probably the best 5 minutes of his entire career here.
And I can just say, I mean, it really was. It was such a great environment because, I mean, at that age, I wanted to be a basketball beat writer. And so, I mean, that was my most important class, and you really did teach me so much. And in coming back in, just let me just pick up. I didn't have to get back at the end of the line. You know, it was like you let me right back in. It was pretty awesome.
Okay, so go ahead.
Well, no, I mean he was awesome, but I got to tell you guys, Chaz was one of my favorite students. I can't believe you beat up on him so bad.
He was a terrible person.
No. He helped the little ladies across the street.
He
pulled an Eddie Haskell on her. He charmed her.
I'm so sad that you all don't know the real Chaz.
I can't believe he snowed you like that. That's unbelievable.
Okay, so the same question for both of you, Coach Malcolm and Miss Weigel. Same question for both of you. Answer in any order you want. How often were Ben and Skin, or Benji and Jeff, actually in class?
Oh, I'll start. Because I had his class fourth period, which happens to be the lunch periods, and he was always telling me that he had to interview this person and he had to interview that person. And in hindsight, I think he was just taking 2-3 lunches. Because somehow or another, those interviews never came through on deadline.
Well, I don't remember Ben ever being gone because he wanted to be there for that trash can basketball. And,
awesome.
And again, this is a guy who would never miss an opportunity to trade some wit with somebody.
Well, Coach Malcolm, you weren't going to miss Coach Malcolm's class because you would never see the field ever again. Coach was a fair coach, but he was strict too. You didn't ever want to get on his bad side, so I never missed his class.
Okay, so this question I really like. We'll start with you, Coach Malcolm. Ben with the ladies, type of flirting. Was he a ladies' man? What was the story there?
Well, I hate to reveal secrets like this about it. And, his methods are studied even now probably at the school. But that's one of those things that if he won't reveal anything about me, I won't say anything about him.
Bro coding it even to this day.
And Miss Weigel was Skin, talking, maybe trying to do maybe let's do a dual piece with one of the female writers in the journalism class.
He was a lone wolf.
Yeah.
He had such a dedication to his lunch periods that he just really didn't need anybody to help him.
That's right.
Was it because of the mullet, or was it? Did he have the mullet at that point?
I had the mullet. You remember the mullet?
Yeah,
short on the sides, long in the back. Feathered hair. So bad. Such a bad
Let's say
look.
he's grown up a whole lot since then.
Yeah. And I'm assuming this is difficult because you have so many students throughout the years. Any specific, incident where they might have gotten in trouble or you had to scold them for anything? I know that's a tough question, but I really want to know.
We were just talking about one.
Do you want to talk about
Go ahead, yes. Go ahead. You have full approval to tell that one.
Another coach called me to tell me, well, actually the guy that was the head coach then, to tell me, man, I saw Ben Rogers with a beer at 7-Eleven, and he swore up and down that it was a new kind of root beer, and that he would bring me the bottle the next day as proof. And I said, well, give him a chance. So he brought in an IBC the next day, and it was the first time I'd ever heard of IBC, but he pulled it out by the skin of his teeth there.
Is that really what you were drinking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we were over at Stacy Cockrell's house, and we walked over to the 7-Eleven and grabbed some IBCs, and we bumped into a coach right at the door.
Right.
And he's like, and he's like, you're drinking beer. And we're like, no, it's not. Yeah.
Not right now, we're not.
Yeah, we were 20 minutes ago.
Right. And it should be known that the Stacy Cockrell that he mentions married her high school sweetheart, our buddy Woody, and they live in McKinney, and Stacy is a teacher in Allen.
Yep.
Allen, one of the Allen Elementary schools.
Coach, you remember Stacy?
I absolutely do.
Yeah, you probably had her in your class.
Her older brother was actually on my basketball team in 7th grade. Yes.
Kevin Cockrell.
What kind of athlete was Ben, Coach Malcolm?
He's a good football player.
Let me get some money out here.
How much is it? Let's just talk about. No, he was a good football player, but these guys were basketball junkies, and of all the things that I remember about that time period, and the thing that I think back fondly on is that we had open gym during Christmas, and guys came back from college, guys from all the junior highs around here would come and play, and I mean, these guys were on the court every time they got a chance. So I'm sure they closed down the old rec center many times.
And that's what's really what's so great is, the Apollo Junior High was right next door to Huffines Rec Center. And if you lived in Richardson and you were going to be fed into Bertner, like I knew all the Liberty guys before we went to high school together, and I especially knew the Apollo guys. And this is one of my favorite Ben stories. I think this just perfectly explains Ben and everything that he's about. So I'd known him for 2 or 3 years, but it's the summer before 10th grade. And we're all, in fact, some of us are on an AAU basketball team together. So you really start getting to know the guys you're about to go to school with. And I remember Benji calling me, and he kind of goes into this conversation. All right, we're talking. And it turns out he wants, and I'm going to use your jargon, he's trying to get a scouting report on the girls from Richardson Junior High. And it's like, okay, now the Fuhr twins, let's talk about them. And we must have had a 25-minute conversation on the phone you know, about just what the girls were like and all these different kinds of things. It's just so funny because Ben has always used that ability all the way through to reach out to people and connect for things, and that was like, I guess, his most amazing skill and admirable trait is reaching out to people, bringing them together, and finding these bonds.
Preparation is everything. Right?
And wasn't the A team coming tonight?
Well, Elisa was here.
Yes,
oh, wow.
she was
Elisa
here.
Jerger was here earlier.
And so I'll ask you this about Skin. So Skin was hanging out with us, but he was really of a different mental caliber than most of the guys that he was running with, like us. We were cavemen. He was really gifted. And so when you see a young man like Skin's best ability is he's a sponge. He remembers everything he reads. And so he just accumulates more knowledge and information all the time. So as a teacher, how did you, when you saw that, how did you harness it, and how do you point that forward to where you hope you send him off and he goes in this great direction and takes advantage of his skills?
Well, obviously, I did an excellent job.
Yeah.
I mean,
look at us now.
Let's go with that right there. You know, he always loved to do sports reporting for me. And as I said, it took me 5 minutes to explain what I knew about sports reporting because I know nothing. So you had to have an innate talent or know what you were doing. You just did. And that's what he did for me. You're right, he was a sponge. He just, where's this game going? What's this going? And he wrote and he wrote and he wrote. And it was great. It was good. We needed that. And if we had some lean years that we didn't have people like Skin, who I know is Jeff, it was hard because they really is a talent.
Did you? I know we got a boogie. I want to mention it. So by the time you got out of it, I got out of the school teaching business. Were you guys doing everything on computers by that point?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So funny, man. We used to do these layouts where we take these giant boards and take a little scalpel and cut out the column inches and glue them down. And
we waxed them.
Yeah.
Don't you remember the smell? You could smell that wax all down H.O.
I would go in there and do that smell just for no apparent reason.
Absolutely.
And float on down the hall. It was great.
Well, I want to say this on behalf of us and on behalf of people listening who've had special teachers. You guys are amazing. You guys have made massive impacts in our lives. We wouldn't be here doing what we're doing had you not helped mold us as human beings along the way. We're grateful, for all you've done for us and for so many students who've come through here. So just wanted to say thank you to you guys.
Well, thank you. We're proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a blessing. It really was.
Amen.
It was really a blessing to have students like you all.
Wow, man, no one's ever said that about me. I'm just standing next to Skin, and I got that compliment.
I'm still going to go with Chaz.
Oh, no, Chaz.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.